It's no surprise we are living in a time where, look, we're just maybe weeks, if not months away from a new vaccine. And medicine is constantly changing, right? It's constantly moving forward. It's getting better and better. And you know what? We know at the New England Institute for Clinical Research that they are at the forefront of bringing state-of-the-art research programs from pharmaceutical industries, academia, medical societies, and patient advocacy groups to New England and the Metro New York community. And we're so glad this morning that we get to talk to Dr. Kathleen Mullin, who is with the New England Institute for Clinical Research. Dr. Mullin, thanks so much for coming on this morning. How are you?
Hi, Melissa. I'm fine, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So first of all, can you just talk about why clinical research is so important?
Absolutely. So essentially, without clinical research, there'd be really no advancements in medicine. So, for example, here at the New England Institute of Clinical Research, we recruit volunteers to participate in clinical trials, and those trials assess for the safety and efficacy of new medications. We then take the data that we collect and we give them to pharmaceutical companies who present it to the FDA for drug approval. So essentially, without clinical research, new drugs would not become commercially available to the public, and the field of medicine would stand still.
Mm-hmm. Now, at the New England Institute for Clinical Research, are there clinical trials that are actually happening right now?
Yes, all the time. So right now we have numerous trials investigating a variety of neurologic conditions. So right now we have trials for multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, migraine headache, and cluster headaches, and we have two on the pipeline for Alzheimer's disease and limb spasticity after a stroke.
Wow, that's incredible. We're talking this morning to Dr. Mullin from the New England Institute for Clinical Research. And Dr. Mullin, if you don't mind me asking you, obviously I'm not a doctor. Clearly, that's why you're the expert on this one. But when it comes to, like clinical trials, how long do you maybe work on an average medicine? Obviously, things are different. Each one of those, medicines that you just mentioned are going to go through different trials and in a different process. But on average, how long do you kind of work on something before you enter the clinical trial period?
So, there's different phases of trials. So before medicines ever get exposed to humans, there's lots of phases that go through animal models and whatnot. Then when you get to the human trial phase, which is usually a phase 3 trial, the length of the trial depends on the study design. So some trials can be you take the medicine once, and that's the end of the trial. You get followed up once, and you're out of the trial. Some of these long-term safety trials can be as long as a year, where you're in the trial being seen by a physician and getting your lab work done monthly.
Wow. That's incredible. And do you guys ever struggle with getting people to participate in clinical trials, or is that something that you've got a pretty good base of having people get involved with this?
It depends on the prevalence of the disease. For our headache trials, it's usually pretty well recruited. Some of the more rare diseases, sometimes it's just hard to really get the information out to the patient populations that we have these trials ongoing.
That makes a lot of sense. Talking this morning to Dr. Mullin from New England Institute for Clinical Research. I think this is so fascinating because you know what? It's exactly what you said, Dr. Mullin, that if we don't have clinical trials, we're not working towards something, we're not really going to go forward, essentially. We're not going to find better and bigger medicines and things that we need to continue on, especially generation to generation. And now I know you were mentioning if people, want to get involved with clinical trials, sometimes that's very easy to do. Other times you may need specific candidates to be able to get involved. So are there certain ways that people should be coming to you guys if they want more information? What's the best way to reach you?
Absolutely. So if you have any of the conditions that I mentioned, you should at least give our office a call. The number is 203-914-1900, and you'd ask for the research team. Let us help you decide if you're a candidate before you exclude yourself. You can also check out our website. It's neicr.com to read more about the specifics of the trials and see if one feels right for you.
All right. Seems simple enough. And Dr. Mullin, I so appreciate you coming on to talk about this morning. We really appreciate it. And we'll talk again really soon. I look forward to it.
My pleasure. Me too.
Thank you.